All right, welcome into the Breer Report for May the 9th. We are on the doorstep of Mother's Day weekend. 26 of 32 teams are in rookie minicamp over the next couple of days. And that means the offseason program is about to kick into high gear. All of those rookies will join their new veteran teammates next week. OTAs aren't far away. Veteran minicamps aren't far away. And we're getting a better idea of what these teams are going to look like in the fall. So what I thought we'd do is look at first-round quarterbacks, but not the guys who went in the first round a couple of weeks ago, Cam Ward and Jackson Dart. I thought it would be a good idea to take a look at the second-year quarterbacks, the first rounders, the 6 of them coming back from 2024, and how much change has happened around them, because there is a lot of it. We'll go in sequential order, and that means we're going to start with Caleb Williams, the number 1 overall pick from a year ago. There has been an absolute ton of change around Caleb Williams in Chicago. Of course, he has a new head coach in Ben Johnson, and Ben Johnson was brought in large part to try to maximize Caleb Williams. There's been change in the skill position group and maybe the look of the offense too, with Keenan Allen now gone and Colston Loveland coming in to pair with Cole Kmet at tight end. Does that mean we see more 12 personnel out there? I think it's certainly a possibility. And massive change along the offensive line, with the Bears having traded for guards Joe Thuney and Jonah Jackson and signing Drew Dahlman to be their new center in free agency. It should give them a clearer picture of what they have at quarterback. Of course, you go back a year ago, and it was pretty easy to chalk Caleb Williams' struggles up to everything that was going on around him. Now they've made a head coach hire to try to get the most out of him. They've revamped his offensive line. They've gotten him a security blanket with the 10th overall pick in Colston Loveland. It is go time now for Caleb Williams. A little bit of a different scenario for the 2nd overall pick. Jayden Daniels does have a different group around him, but the bar is higher for him because of the success that he achieved in year 1. And so I think for a lot of players in Washington, the challenge isn't ascending. The challenge is matching the level that they were at a year ago. And this is a roster that still needed a lot of help. And one of the things that I respect most about the job that Adam Peters and Dan Quinn have done is they've completely revamped the premium positions on the roster. They still have work to do with the edge rushers, but you look at the corner spot, and they've got now Marshawn Lattimore, Mike Sainristil, and Trey Amos. And then on the offensive side, this is where we get to the effect that it's going to have on Jayden Daniels. You have 2 new tackles and their first-round pick, Josh Connerly, who will likely start at right tackle, Laramie Tunsil at left tackle. And then you add Deebo Samuel to a receiver group that's already got, of course, Terry McLaurin in it. This is a completely different team than the one that Dan Quinn and Adam Peters inherited a year ago. It was a very different team even last year to the year before. And so they're accustomed to a lot of change there. What does it look like now with the league having another year of tape of Cliff Kingsbury and Jayden Daniels working together? How does the rest of the league now attack the Washington offense now that they have that evidence on how to do it? I think all of those play into the challenges that'll face Jayden Daniels in year 2. The 3rd overall pick, Drake Maye, he's another one that had massive change going on around him. He has a new left tackle in Will Campbell. He has a new number 1 receiver in Stephon Diggs, who's coming back off of a torn ACL. He has a new center potentially, whether it's Garrett Bradbury or the Georgia kid they drafted in the 3rd round, Jared Wilson. And then, of course, they have a new 3rd down back in Travion Henderson. But most of all, they've got a completely new coaching staff. And that's the thing that's going to be interesting to watch here is Josh McDaniels has, for years and years and years and years, run a very complex, complicated, intricate offense that was, for many of those years, tailored to Tom Brady. Now he's going to be working with a younger quarterback who's pretty raw. So what do we see as far as the difference that the year off made for Josh McDaniels? He did a lot of work studying the college game. What are we going to see from Josh, and how does that come out in Drake Maye with all the pieces again around him? And how quickly does Henderson and Campbell, how quickly do they acclimate to the pro game? What are they getting out of Stephon Diggs in his 30s coming off the ACL? Just a lot of moving pieces there, but there is reason for optimism that this Patriots team is going to be a lot better than it was just a year ago, with Mike Vrabel, of course, being the new head coach. And you would expect that he's going to make a difference for Drake Maye as well, even if his expertise isn't on the offensive side of the ball. The 8th overall pick, Michael Penix. This one's fascinating to me because I look at Michael Penix and the situation that he's in, and you look at the players that are around him on offense, and it's not all that dissimilar to where they were last year. They do have to break in a new center with Drew Dahlman gone to Chicago, but they have Drake London back. Kyle Pitts is back for another year. Bijan Robinson coming back from a big year. So Michael Penix goes into his first year as a full-time starter with a lot of the same pieces, a lot of continuity around him, same offensive coordinator in Zach Robinson, same head coach in Raheem Morris. And I think a lot of the way this goes is going to hinge on what sorts of games they're playing. And a lot of that's going to hinge on the defense and what they wind up getting out of the edge rushers that they drafted in the first round, both Jalen Walker and James Pierce. How are they able to change the face of a defense that has good players other places on that roster? How do they deal with the loss of Grady Jarrett? I think all of these things on the defensive side of the ball will play into the environment that they're going to be asking Michael Penix to try to thrive in. Really interesting situation there. The 10th overall pick. And this one is super interesting because J.J. McCarthy is walking into what I think most people would consider the best situation a young quarterback could possibly walk into. He's got the best receiver in football, if not the best, one of the best two receivers in football in Justin Jefferson. He's got one of the best number twos in football in Jordan Addison. He's got a Pro Bowl level tight end in TJ Hawkinson. He's got Christian Darrisaw coming back off the ACL. He's got Kevin O'Connell coaching him. He's got a group that won 14 games with Sam Darnold a year ago, and a group that went through a lot of change and has continuity this year after having dealt with some of those moving pieces a year ago. So for J.J. McCarthy, the key now is going to be, how do you build the confidence of the players, build confidence in the players around you? How do the other players in that huddle look at you? You're coming back off the knee injury from a year ago. You lost the weight, you put it back on. How are you able to galvanize the team? J.J. McCarthy was a Pied Piper at Michigan. I would think that this is going to be, I would have always thought this would have been a strength to him coming into the pros. But you have to wait and see how those things develop, and it'll be interesting to see how that part of it develops in Minnesota. And how he plays in the spring, of course, is a big part of it. That's another piece that's interesting to me, is that the building the confidence of his teammates, that's not going to start in August or September or October. Proof of concept will be important when you get to the real games, but that has to start right now. And he has to give his teammates some evidence in May and June that he is ready to be a starting quarterback, because there's a lot on the line for a lot of those guys. This isn't a rebuild. This is a 14-win team he's walking into. And he's got some new pieces around him too on the offensive line. If you consider what they did with those three interior positions in bringing in Ryan Kelly and Will Fries from the Colts, and then drafting Donovan Jackson in the first round. Finally, number 12, Bo Nix. With the Denver Broncos. I think what's really interesting about this one, you've got the young receivers in Franklin and Vele. You've got RJ Harvey joining the backfield. You've got continuity on that offensive line. There's just a lot of things coming back in Denver, and it looks like you might have a number one defense on the other side of the ball behind Vance Joseph, with guys like Nick Bonito and Jonathan Cooper, and of course Patrick Surtain, but then additions like Dre Greenlaw and Hufanga on the back end. I look at this as a team that should have high expectations, that maybe could challenge the Chiefs in the AFC West. And so the task for Bo Nix now is, can I take my game to another level? Had a great rookie year, was right there with Jayden Daniels for Rookie of the Year. Can he help elevate the rest of that roster? Can he help take that team into a spot where it's able now to advance in the playoffs? We'll see. I can't wait to see what happens with all of these guys over the next few weeks, but I think there's reason for optimism for all six of them. And we'll see how it plays out over the course of OTAs and minicamp, and whether or not we're singing the same tune when we get to the middle of June. Appreciate you guys coming out. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, and we will see you again next week.